It's definitely been an interesting 24 hours in the crypto market. We of course have some red in terms of ADA, in terms of BTC and the market in general. Frankly, it's not that bad. But what I will say is it's not really surprising that this took place. It's more surprising how it took place. And a lot of it has to do with this $100 million bet. We have kind of a mixed bag going on in terms of ADA and crypto right now. We have a little bit of work to do to get back on track for this week. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So we've started off, of course, on a red note today. We had some overnight selling, some overnight retracement, nice bounce back. But right now, ADA is down about 2% to start the day. Yesterday, we were down about 3.41%. And even when you look over these last 4 days, it's really not that bad. In fact, these 4 days combined are less than last Friday's entire red candle. So we need to just pump the brakes. We need to relax. And I have to say that a lot of people have gotten, very active. The haters have come out. A lot of people talking crap, moving their mouth. And people forget that we talked about this 2 days ago. We talked about potential downside. We talked about potential long leverage liquidations. And apparently people just don't listen to what I say. And that's fine. If you want to ignore what I say, go right ahead. But we talked about this compression. We talked about entering a volatility zone, right? This isn't surprising. It's happened many times before. And unfortunately, we moved to the downside. We got into a lot of this long leverage and it caused $711 million worth of liquidations. And we can really have just different discussions about what caused this all to start, right? Maybe it was the courts unpausing Donald Trump's tariffs, even though they're already paused, but that's neither here nor there. Really, the big thing that started this cascade of leverage liquidations in the market was one person. It was this $100 million bet that we had been tracking very closely. This was this 40x long leverage player, James Wynn, who had been opening long positions, opening short positions, opening long positions, and just hemorrhaging as the week went on. And of course, liquidated for $100 million. All right. That means that they actually accounted for about 13% of all the liquidations that took place yesterday. It was one person. It's very irresponsible. Should have had definitely some stop losses set. But that's, again, the dangers that come with huge high leverage positions. There's always that risk. That's why when we talk about, Margex or BTCC, I always say there is risk that comes with leverage. Me personally, I never do 40 or 50x positions. They tend to be quite small, about 10x, maybe 15x is about the longest I go. But that started what happened yesterday. And apparently James Wynn is going to try to come back and win it. Hopefully he does well, right? Hopefully he makes some money, but that started everything yesterday. So it's kind of a weird circumstance that in fact caused these drops to take place. But of course we saw this, same liquidations take place in terms of ADA. All right. We saw $7.72 million worth of liquidations in terms of ADA yesterday. We got down into some of that leverage like we were in fact talking about. Okay. Now, the good news, I guess, is that we've had leverage chase down. We've had a lot of people trying to short ADA. We've got back to this ratio where it's a 10% imbalance to the short side in terms of ADA. We've seen the same thing take place in terms of BTC too. We saw a lot of the short leverage chase BTC down, but BTC obviously had some of these major leverage liquidations. Not really surprising. Unfortunately, it's a big part of crypto right now. And that's what we're dealing with. All right. Now, that being said, we did actually have some good news take place yesterday. We got to see if I can find it all now. We have a lot of stuff to talk about in this video. So the SEC said that crypto staking does not involve securities. So that's a big point of clarity. We know the SEC has been very pro crypto as of late. That's a great sign. What they also did was drop the lawsuit against Binance. Awesome. Another point of clarity in the crypto market. So these are all good things that are really helping us take some of these steps forward. I did want to talk about this one too. The UK Prime Minister candidate just announced to cut capital gains tax on Bitcoin. So we're again still seeing this embrace of crypto around the world. It's a really big deal. And what I will say here too is that we're still seeing massive accumulation take place. And I almost got ahead of myself here. But what I did want to show you guys is that we do have a little bit of a mixed bag right now. We have some good stuff. We have some bad stuff. The good stuff is that we're still seeing big accumulation, right? We're still seeing whales defend price. Like I was just showing, oh shoot, I'm all over the place. We saw huge BTC accumulation in the last 48 hours. In fact, there was one whale that actually accumulated $850 million worth of BTC. It's a pretty big deal, right? We're still seeing BlackRock on the accumulation side. We have huge distributions taking place today to the tune of $5 billion from the FTX estate. All right. I don't know if it's a state, but yeah. Anyways, but we have potential of huge cash and stable coins entering the crypto market to accumulate right on this dip that we're on. All right. Some not so great things. Institutional money, outflow day, not a fun thing, right? What we are seeing on the ADA side is actually some good stuff, some bad stuff. We have the exact retest that we've done the last 2 times right before we had our rebounds to the upside, right? Dip back here on April 7th, retest. Dip right here on, what was that, May 6th, retest. Dip right here on May 30th, retest, right? And each one of these has led to some of these breakouts that have moved to the upside. We're still heavily in the oversold range on stochastic RSI on the daily. Something negative that we need to watch. We did have a bearish cross on stochastic RSI on the weekly, which could indicate that we have some downside. All right. So again, it's kind of a mixed bag. We can still eliminate this weekly cross if we get some good green days to close. And frankly, right now, what we're seeing here, we've seen this take place before where it hasn't really impacted price much. We got one of these back here. Gosh, where was that? I'm trying to think. There's been some times where it's led to like a 10% retracement, and we're already into about 5, 6, 7% of that. So the point I'm trying to make is we're getting a little bit of good and bad. All right. I will say important retest on the total 3, retesting that 20-week moving average, bull market support band. That's a great sign. It's not really surprising there. I think that was pretty much it for this video. I'm just trying to go back through. There's a lot of stuff, guys. I mean, what I will say is that, whenever we get these drops, people tend to get really loud and really negative really fast. And then they get really quiet when we have strong rebounds and price runs back to the same places we were at before. It's the circle of life, we'll call it. And it's kind of funny because these things don't bother me. I bought very, very low in terms of ADA. I've dollar cost averaged along the way. And what I will say is that I try to just make sure I have as much as I can, because none of this stuff is changing what's coming down the line. I think that's where people get confused, right? A lot of people think that the market cycle's just over and we're going to enter a bear market cycle and it's done. And, people are way too emotional. That's the best thing I can say. Me personally, I took emotion out of investing like 15 years ago. It really doesn't bother me anymore. Me, I spend most of my time either working or out on the farm or on the golf course. And frankly, I don't care about where the day-to-day price is. All I care is that we're taking steps forward in the market as a whole. And we're doing exactly that. We're taking these steps forward each and every day. And while we might get some resistance along the way, and while some people may want to be negative and bearish, and that's cool. Do whatever you want. But you're not fooling me. I'm not fooled by this short-term crap. It really doesn't matter in the long run. So appreciate you guys as always. Hope you enjoyed the video. Oh, shoot. I knew I forgot something. PC report today, 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Man, see, that's the problem when we have so many things to discuss, but pay attention to that because it tends to have less impact on the market as a whole. It doesn't have as much weight as the PPI or the PCI report, but it does carry some weight. And what it is, again, is another step towards interest rate decreases, the ones that we've been waiting for, the ones that some people have said will be the moment that the market takes off. But appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.